Namaskar. Welcome to the Snake Master program. Something special about this place too. 2 years ago, we were called here when two Russell's vipers were found mating. We came and saw them entwined. Today, this is a den of vipers. Some people have walked through here this morning. Their footprints can be seen, so it's safe for us to follow the same trail without trouble. The caller has put this wooden plank across the small canal to help us cross. Follow me carefully. Namaskar, brother. What's your name? My name is Soman. There is no rain, so why are you wearing a hat? When I come to the riverside, I usually wear it. Whose property is this? It belongs to a friend of mine. About 2 years ago, just like now, another friend called us here and we caught 2 vipers from this place. It was in November or December. How long have you been waiting here? It has been about 2 hours. I came early this morning. Oh, I see. Since then, this snake has been lying here? Yes. Great. When he called me, he said there were round patterns on its body. I replied that it could be a Russell's viper, and he hinted that there may be more vipers here. That's why you are carrying this stick to walk around, right? You must always be cautious in such places. It is better to use a longer stick so that you can tap the ground from a distance before stepping forward. This is an important lesson for our viewers as well. Place your foot only where you have tapped. To be honest, if it had been a cobra, it could have easily climbed up and escaped because the rings of the well are small. When this brother came, he saw it climbing up and slipping off. Do you know why? There are no grips. If the inner walls had been mud, the snake would have easily climbed up. Even a small cobra could climb up the motor pump pipe or ridges and escape. A 2.5-month-old cobra will already be 2 feet long and can easily crawl up. Anyway, this is fantastic. If it bites, it would be terrible. In a recent episode, you must have seen a viper with a rare color pattern biting my shoe. Many people who saw that episode called and messaged me afterwards. But what appeared on some social media pages was interesting. While Vava Suresh was rescuing a rare kind of viper, he was bitten by it and is now admitted to hospital in serious condition. It was a misleading post. I was wearing plastic shoes and nothing happened to me. But there is a lesson in that. I always tell women who cut grass or walk in such areas to use gum boots. If a snake bites, its teeth may break and you will be safe. Anyway, we don't need to go far for vines to tie it up. Everything we need is right here. There is a shed nearby with ropes, but right now we only need a bit of rope or vine to tie this. In the old days, people used such natural vines. When they went to the forest, they would cut creepers and use them to bundle grass. I remember when my mother went to cut grass, we children used to pull out creepers like this, twist them round and use them as ropes. That's how we carried bundles of grass home. By the way, when we take out this snake, if it falls into the yard, we won't be able to find it again unless someone clears the whole place. Now the snake is lying in the water itself. Since this is only a small well, I think we can catch it quickly. But it is active and moving very fast. Yes, it's slowly climbing up. Looks healthy and strong. Oh, superb. Look, it's a female. Just see the tail. Yes, this is a very healthy female snake. First, let me stand safely because if I don't take it out carefully, it can bite me. Anyway, it has coiled around the pole and the temporary hook. But we must be careful, otherwise we could get into trouble. Such a healthy and wonderful guest. Look at this. Superb, truly superb, excellent health. If the snake gives birth, there could be around 38 babies. I think it accidentally slipped into the well after climbing up the climbers on the wall of the well. It has drunk plenty of water. I think water is dripping from its body. We are able to see it since it is sitting on this soil of reddish brown color. But if it were on soil matching its color, we might never notice it at all. This is a very healthy Russell's viper of good size. If you ask which snake has caused the most number of bites to people, I can say without hesitation, it's the viper family. The hump-nosed pit viper, Malabar pit viper and Russell's viper have been responsible for the highest number of bites, especially the Russell's viper and hump-nosed pit viper. Now look at the snake. In places like this, snakes can climb up but may fall midway. They can't go straight upwards unless some creepers give them grip. This healthy female is probably about 5 years old. Russell's viper's bites usually cause swelling and pain at the site. In some cases, the venom spreads through the body, leading to clotting disorders and kidney damage. It damages tiny blood vessels and disrupts the normal clotting process, which can cause severe bleeding. The local tissue may also die and only later begin to heal. Bleeding often shows up in the gums, under the skin as bruising, in urine or in the body's mucous membranes. Abdominal swelling and urinary blockage are rare, and bleeding through sweat glands has not been scientifically confirmed. See, the body of the viper looks so shiny. This may be because it has been lying in the water for so long. The caller said he had been here for 2 hours before we arrived. From that time, it has been in the water. If this soil gives way, it might slide down. The roots here are giving it some grip, otherwise it would already have fallen. Without that grip, it would certainly go down. Look, it is slipping, but this would not be the case with a cobra or a rat snake. They would easily climb up with their tight grip. As you may know, the Russell's viper opens its mouth fully wide before biting. Once it bites, it won't let go. That's the special feature of the viper. Its fangs are long and curved like hooks. Once it gets a grip, it won't release. While biting, it presses hard and pushes venom deep into the body. Only those who have been bitten by a snake can truly explain what a snake bite is. Not the ones who read about it in books. They will never understand the experience of a real bite. That's just theoretical knowledge. But from real life experience, we know how long it takes, in which direction it strikes, how it bites, and even how far it can reach. The reason it bites so fiercely can be because of the pain it feels when badly stuck in a net. In places like Karnataka or Odisha, there are reports of people getting bitten while rescuing cobras caught in nets. Only those who have suffered snake bites know how difficult it is, and the after effects too. The viper's fangs are long, curved and sharp. When bitten, the pain is immediate and severe, and swelling begins quickly. Whatever the snake, viper or otherwise, the first thing to do after a bite is not to run or walk. Sit still and quiet. If you are wearing clothes, a dhoti, towel or anything else, tear off a broad piece of cloth If bitten on the leg when swelling starts, don't ever use a rope or strong cord to tie tightly. Use a wide strip of cloth and tie it above the bite spot. Never make it too tight. Tie it just enough to slightly slow down blood circulation. Then place another strip a little higher up. Don't raise the bitten part above the body because that increases circulation to the heart and brain, making the venom spread faster. Also, don't hang the limb downwards as that worsens swelling. Then there won't be proper circulation. I myself once had a terrible experience. My middle finger became dead and had to be amputated because someone tied a rope too tightly above the bite spot. In the case of my index finger, my elder brother, I think, tied it tightly with a rope, thinking it would help. But it didn't turn out to be serious. The finger only bent and doctors didn't have to amputate it. That's why you should never tie too tight. A light pressure bandage with cloth is enough to slow venom flow and reduce damage without cutting off circulation. Don't cut the wound with a blade. Don't do foolish things like that. If tied too tightly, when you finally loosen the band, all the venom rushes suddenly into circulation, which can be deadly. So never make that mistake. Now see this viper, it appears sluggish. If it were a cobra, it would have climbed up and escaped by now. In a previous episode, we introduced a viper of a different color. This is yet another color variation. In Kerala, I think there are at least 5 or 6 color morphs of the viper. I have commonly come across 3 types but rarely found 5 or 6. Never take them lightly. Many cows, calves and goats have died from viper bites. So whenever you take your cattle or goats to graze, always carry a stick and tap the ground. Do this before tying them too. By doing so, you can save lives. Why should a poor animal lose its life to a snake bite when it could have lived longer? Look here, did you notice that bird? That is the greater kushal, also called the crow pheasant. It too hunts snakes. Wherever these birds are found, small snakes and hatchlings usually don't survive. If it spots one, it immediately swoops. Wherever these birds are found, small snakes and hatchlings usually don't survive. If it spots one, it immediately swoops down and picks it up. This is also a habitat where peacocks live in plenty, and peacocks too hunt snakes. This snake is about 5 or 6 years old. It hasn't laid eggs this year or last year, otherwise it would not be this healthy. It hasn't laid eggs this year or last year, otherwise it would not be this healthy. As you know, the female's tail is shorter and the snout is pointed. That's how we identify a female Russell's viper. In fact, in India, people who work in snake conservation follow the research of Mr. Romulus Whitaker, who came to India and established major conservation initiatives, including work in Karnataka. He too has pointed out that by looking at the tail tip, length and head shape, one can distinguish between males and females. Anyway, we won't waste time. We still have many calls waiting, so let's bag this one. I think today, because the rain has cleared and the heat has increased, there will be at least 10 cases like this. Even yesterday, I had plenty of such calls. And now it is the season when peacock eggs hatch. In many places, people complain that when the peacock chicks walk around with their mother, dogs chase and even catch them. I've told them just to let the peacock and chicks escape. If you detain them, they will die. Truly, during our journeys, we mostly encounter big snakes, whether Russell's viper or cobras. Brother, could you get me that sack? So we thank our dear brother Soman, who has gifted us this Russell's viper, also called Chenathandan Anali or Rakta Anali in Malayalam. When we were coming towards this place, we met an elderly man walking with his cows. He was wearing gum boots up to his knees, which is essential. Whether you are a job guarantee scheme worker or someone who takes cows and goats to graze, wearing proper boots is a must. Around the calf muscle area, there is usually a loose gap. If you can, fill that space with thick cloth or even pieces of old jute sack. That way walking becomes easier and you are better protected. Otherwise, you may slip or trip and fall if a snake suddenly appears and you panic. It was pleasing to see that uncle wearing gumboots properly. even when just going to tether his cattle. Today, we are happy to show our viewers a snake that is beautiful to look at, but whose bite is among the most agonizing and deadly, the Russell's viper. Its bite is often described as savage. We thank our dear Soman brother for presenting us with this beautiful female Russell's viper. We hope our viewers enjoyed learning about today's guest. In the next episode, we shall be back with new encounters, new guests, and new stories. Until then, both of us thank all the Snake Master viewers. Namaste.